I'll mention if you're on the lane that there's some action going on the other side, but otherwise get into it. So this is Mikelorus. He does a little bit of his streaming. What's your stream username?
Mostly more on YouTube. I'm Mikelorus Gaming on that.
Cool.
I've actually just counted. I finally pushed the 200 video mark.
Awesome.
So that's been pretty fun. I do stream a little bit, but not all that much because mostly it's just Star Series and that's all replay right now. But it looks like we're gonna have what is it? Team Liquid versus Octavia, or I didn't see much of the last game, so.
Sorry, what was your question?
Radiant is the Team Liquid team.
Both of them are actually from the Team Liquid in-house group. These are just people on Team Liquid, part of their community, and they have do in-house skirmishes. They kind of mix up the rosters of each team every single game a little bit here. So it's going to be Wicked actually going to be drafting up on the Dire, and Dr. Chopper, aka Camel Hoarder for the time being. I don't know why I changed it, but drafting up on the Radiant, and yeah.
Alright, well, so that's good to know. The Radiant side opening up with the Anti-Mage Magnus Band, the Dire responding with the Darkseer TA. Fair warning, I haven't casted all that many games from the 0.75 patch, so I am not currently that familiar with it, but should be relatively okay. Leshrac and the Puck being the opening heroes for the Radiant side, and Puck, really interesting hero, not seen at all in the 0.74 B games. Has he been seeing a little bit more of a resurgence 0.75, or is this just a kind of a weird pick?
Yeah, I mean the Waning Rift is a little bit better, and I think the Dream Coil had a small buff, but generally speaking, it's kind of common for these guys in the Team Liquid in-house group. Drop the base, picks them up pretty well. Also, Stancil does a really good job with them, but I think it's more common in these guys' setup as their kind of fits their playstyle more so than anything else. I don't think the metagame has shifted in favor of Puck that much, other than the fact that he is very survivable in 3-1-1. But otherwise, yeah, I definitely hear what you mean about Magnus. Last game was actually the first game that I've casted with Magnus in it, so I was just trying to remember the names of the abilities as we were going along and kept on messing it up in the team fights, but hopefully it was still pretty smooth there. Anyways, as far as what they've drafted up thus far, Lycanthrope, an interesting pickup. His Wolves got really hard nerfed and 6.75, so he's pretty much subjected to the lane. If he tries the jungle, it's going to be a very, very slow and arduous process. But they do pick up the Storm Spirit, the iconic hero of Dr. Chopper, who is their captain. And he's going to be picking that up in the solo mid situation for sure. He does a really good job with some long-range initiations there, and it's going to be really fun. Now, they did ban out the Anti-Mage, so their hardest counter, I would say, they don't have to worry about. Puck, Leshrac, and Storm Spirit being pretty high mana pool heroes, and that Mana Void being very devastating if they can get on it after the mana has been burned. But one thing I'll keep in mind is that maybe like a Nyx Assassin counter, because he does scale very well on Intellect. But otherwise, yeah, they just have really powerful Intellect heroes with really good stuns to kind of play wherever they want. We're probably going to see a support Leshrac and an off-lane Puck, if that's where my money is anyways.
Putting my money on a jungle Storm Spirit. It'll happen, I'm sure. But Octavia, or the Dire on the other hand, yeah, they picked up the Enchantress with that Lycanthrope. So as you said, Lycanthrope, just because of the patch, mostly forced into a lane, but also because of their following hero picks, forcing that Lycanthrope into a lane. So he's still like a very deadly hero, he just can't get the farm as easily as before, although he has been known to go into the lane from time to time. The bans coming out, Chen, Enigma, as well as the Naga Siren from the Dire sides. On the Radiant, they're going to be banning out that Night Stalker as well as the Bounty Hunter. So kind of, well, there's a lot of chasing power with those two heroes. Night Stalker is really good shutdown on both Puck and the Storm Spirit. If you get that, what's it called, Crippling Fear on either of those heroes, then they're pretty much screwed. The Bounty Hunter is very solid offline, as is the Broodmother. So the Radiant just trying to prevent Octavia from getting the off lane that they really want, because right now, I mean, they have a safe lane farmer, they have a couple of support heroes. What they need right now, the Dire at least, they need a couple of lanes. And well, there's another support hero right there, so that probably will mean that Rubik is going to take a little bit more of a primary farming role, being that Jakiro usually is the one being the support hero.
Exactly. And along those lines, I think the bans really on the Radiant side, Dr. Chopper really not wanting to get hard countered by the Storm Spirit. I guess Doombringer's still on the board if anybody plays him, but the Orchid coming out from the Broodmother, or just the, like you said, the Crippling Fear from Night Stalker, could be really devastating. But it's actually going to be a Wisp pickup for the Radiant, which is a little bit odd since I can't see anything that they'd really synergize him with. I guess the Tiny's still on the board, but they pick up the Sven instead, so ganking time. It's Wisp and Sven combining together here. As far as the Dire draft here, the Enchantress really controls the jungle very well and helps out their lanes very effectively, but the Jakiro, in my mind, at 6.75, the best support in the game. So with that Ice Path being such a short cooldown and mana cost, really can devastate that lane, and just combining that together, Jakiro and Chaos Knight adding up a lot of disables to their team and can really shut down the Storm Spirit pretty hard if they get a good Chaos bolt on them.
Yeah, one of the few 7.75 games I've seen was Empire versus PB or Dignitas now, and Empire actually did run the Wisp Sven, so I guess the Radiant team saw that and they decided to see if it actually works in their game. Octavia had a really quick pickup on the CK. I mean, CK, yes, he's a fantastic hero, but you gotta wonder how much of that was actually in response to Wisp, because usually the Wisp combo is either, you got the Juggernauts, you got the Tiny, and you got the CK. Those are pretty much the big three, and then also Ursa, but he's typically a little bit more gimmicky, and oh my god, my screen just like exploded.
Awesome.
Yeah, I have like menus open all over the place right now. Okay, there we go.
Well, you got to pause to sort it out a little bit here, but definitely seeing Leshrac picking up the supportive role and already starting off with the Courier. That will leave Storm Spirit on the middle lane, and presumably with a basic 3-1-1 that would have Puck going on the off lane down on bottom. Now, what that would mean as far as Wisp, Sven, and Leshrac on a lane together, Sven can easily start off that stun combination with the, is it Stormhammer? Stun? Yeah. Again, all these newer heroes, like, you kind of forget. Like, the first time I saw Lina come back to the metagame, I'm like, what the heck is the Light Striker? I don't even remember these abilities. But anyways, Stormhammer to start things off, coming on through the Split Earth, and then, of course, the Tether, doing a pretty powerful stun as you rank that up. It's just a lot of damage, a lot of disable, and they can lock down people even harder than, I think, the Jakiro Chaos Knight lane, really.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's probably going to be, most likely going to be a solo mid lane on the Rubik, I want to say. Of course, once again, not .75 savvy, so the Lycanthrope might be taking that lane. I haven't seen if he could actually do that. But a Jakiro CK, that's a pretty deadly lane. Unfortunately, it's not as bursty. I mean, yes, it does have a lot of burst, but the chain stun coming out from the Radiant, I mean, it doesn't matter how much damage you have if you're not going to be able to use it because you're stunned. So Radiant definitely have the lockdown and kill potential in that. Let's actually go over who is playing what on the Radiant side. We have Skate Skater on the Sven, being followed by his trusty busty Baboon playing the Wisp. Fearlock is going to be picking up the Leshrac with Camel Hoarder, very interesting name, on the Storm Spirit, and Cloudoo is looking to solo the bot lane, but he might be running into a little bit of trouble as 4 from the Dire are going to wander around those woods.
Yeah, it's going to be a very difficult 1v3 for him. I mean, with on the long lane, at least he has a long way to go back with that Ethereal Jaunt Illusory Orb, but with this, there's just so much disable potential, and with Enchantress going aggressively in the jungle, I really like this, as she can put out a lot of pressure on the lane and put down the tower really quickly, and I don't think Puck really has the counter push, starting out level 1, level 2, doesn't really have that much to add to it, so I like the positioning on Radiant, trying to gank up on whoever's going to be heading in the jungle, presumably Enchantress, but right now, they have a completely different idea with Wicket down on the bottom here. As far as their lineup here, of hoping that there's not going to be an exchange.
He's going to take a telekinesis.
Yeah.
He's going to get dragged right in front of the Wicket. He's going to throw out that illusion orb. Can he transfer
John?
Yes, he will.
Yeah.
Dodging just narrowly that CK Chaos Bolt. So Cloudy's going to walk away with his life. That's also going to signify to the Radiant that there are 4 on the Dire team hanging around this bot lane. So probably the tri-lane top, they're going to want to move, or at least stick around to gank Siberia, as he is moving up into that mid lane. So this Rubik has got to be careful. Camel Hoarder can't really do all that much to help out this gank, but really he doesn't need to do anything. Just level 1s are going to be enough, and here comes the Stormhammer, going to land on Siberia's Chain Stun with the Split Earth. Oh no, the Tether first, and then the Split Earth going to hit. So there's the first blood being picked up by Skate Skater, as the tri-lane most likely now going to head back up to that top.
So yeah, that's a really good start for them. They really, I mean, they got good positioning, like I said. They wanted to start off on Enchantress, but taking up on the middle lane, giving Dr. Chopper that advantage up against Storm Spirit. Very, very nice there. And of course, Sven taking a good advantage from the gold acquired from that. Now I will go real quick through the Dire lineup. We got Wicket on the Enchantress going aggressively in the jungle. Bloody Noob on Jakiro going alongside Skeletor 3-4 on the Chaos Knight. Now up top, Freck in not the laning situation that he wants to be in, but he is a Lycanthrope going 1v3, and I'm very, very concerned if he'll be able to survive in the lane setup. But if he hugs the tower hard enough, I guess the stuns will not be that big of a deal, but he just has to watch himself very carefully, as he does not have that much survivability. Finally, Siberia picking up the Rubik solo mid and going toe-to-toe with Dr. Chopper, who is playing the Storm Spirit.
Blue's Dr. Chopper?
Yeah, that's his general name. So.
Alright, cool. I will try to remember that. The good thing going for the Dire is that Lycan, although
Wolf
did get much bottom jaunt OP, the good thing about Lycan is that he could still jungle those camps just very slowly, and I think that might be the best option for him, because Busty Baboon just chilling right on the corner of the map, preventing Freck from actually getting close enough for experience or really anything. So Lycan, I feel like his best bet is just bail and just get whatever he can from the jungle. Yes, it's not going to be that much. It's not going to be 0.74 Lycan farm. But something is better than nothing. As we see Puck on the bottom lane getting pretty much nothing. So the Lycanthrope can get an advantage for his team that way if he chooses to do that. But the Wisp is following him, looking to prevent some pulling action or just stalking his victim. He doesn't have any backup, so he can't really actually follow up there.
Now, right now, it's kind of a dual jungle setup between Jakiro and the Enchantress, kind of getting a lot of experience for their team in general, as Lycan doesn't really have any control of his jungle or the lane for that matter, and now the Radiant jungle completely controlled by these two here, and actually possibly looking to transition towards a gank onto Dr. Chopper. He doesn't have his ultimate ball lightning, so it's going to be very difficult for him to escape on this if they can set it up properly, but right now they just want the, maybe Courier, I don't know, but Ursa just walking in range of tower and kind of wasting their time. Their gank has been exposed, and Jakiro's already making his way back towards Puck on the bottom.
Yeah, they didn't get anything for that, but they did pressure the Storm Spirit back, and whenever you can make the enemy scared, well, that kind of counts as a gank. Not really, but the more pressure that they put just by simply being there, the less farm the Storm Spirit will get, the easier time that Rubik will have. Let's take a look at how the Rubik is doing. 13 for actually staying relatively even. So the Rubik, with that a little bit of pressure, a little bit of presence from his team, is going to have a little bit of an easier time as we see Fearlock and Busty Baboon looking for Freck, who is taking my advice and going for the... Oh, the Courier. Oh, the Courier's so dead. Oh, the Courier scampers away. Okay. Freck is going to run to Busty Baboon. The tether angle not there as he misses just barely, but I think the movement speed will allow them to get the stun. There's the tether stun. Unfortunately, it's very short, only level 1 tether. The Split Earth will hit onto Freck. The Edict being popped as well, and Freck is going to take a huge amount of damage from this. The creep wave is coming though, so he might have some damage mitigated. Not enough. Deerlock does pick up that kill as we now see Siberia getting a lot of damage from Camel Hoarder. Going to get telekinesis back into the tower for a couple more tower shots, but he should be just fine. And the Radiant, I mean, yes, they do pick up the Lycanthrope, but they missed a very, very easy Courier kill. Busty Baboon kind of tunnel-sighted right onto that Lycan and didn't see the very free gold that he could have picked up for not only him, but for his entire team as well.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate for them. He just walked right on by, completely surprised me, but I guess just was, really focused on his goal, and though it's really good to shut down Lycan early on, as he really doesn't... his biggest problem right now is this early game. He used to have one of the best early games of the game, fastest farmer in the jungle, etc., but right now he's got a Quelling Blade, a Stout Shield, and as far as CS goes, he's barely seen the creeps, let alone taken them. I mean, taken like 10 easy camp jungle creeps, so nothing very good for him. So his GPM...
The mid lane tether onto Siberia as Camel Hoarder has initiated with the pull. He's going to get telekinesis up into the air, stunning base Busty Baboon as well, but the Storm Spirit is going to pick up that kill on Rubik. Unfortunately, there's nothing really you could do as a Rubik when you're getting jumped like that, and it looks like Wicked actually transitioned away from the enemy jungle. He's going to be trying to support Freck, but still, level 3 Lycanthrope is going to need a little bit more than an Enchantress, I feel, versus Skate Skater, who's currently level 5. For some reason, not with 3 points in the Stormhammer. So, I don't know.
No, I just picked it up.
Oh, wait, there it is. Okay, he's holding on to the skill points. That's fair enough.
I think Sven might actually be going for Midas first, a little bit of damage, but yeah, I think it might go for Midas first. He has complete free farm over this lane, topping the GPM at 380, and really there's nothing stopping him. So yeah, there's a Midas Rust to be coming in, and the rich get richer. He's going to get plenty of gold here, but actually about to lose some of that. Has at least spent it, but right now there's a really good gank coming in on him.
There goes the enchant, kind of countered out by the war cry. Will the ice path hit? I don't think it'll be even enough. No, Skate Skater running perfectly to the right is going to dodge that. Split Earth being cancelled by Fearlock, not willing to waste that mana onto Wicked. I don't think he had enough follow-up to kill Enchantress with only level 1 Split Earth and level 2 Edict. Plus there was quite a bit of support there, so didn't want to actually put his neck out. But Busty Baboon has returned to this lane. Skate Skater, yeah, as you mentioned, with the Hand of Midas now, so he's going to be farming up an absolute storm. And there's really nothing that the Dire is doing to prevent this. The bottom lane, Illusory Orb just barely missing that CK. Level 3 Illusory Orb wouldn't have been enough to kill anyway, so the CK would have lived.
Yeah, and Skate Skater with this attack speed build on Sven, I mean, it's only a little bit of attack speed, plus 30, but that's still a considerable amount. His ultimate gives him all the damage he needs, actually buffed to up to 200% damage increase. It's based on his strength, and so it's a lot of physical damage in the magnitude, but as far as speed...
Telekinesis get dropped right in front of Bloody Noob. Ice Path doesn't miss again. The threat does go out, and Wisp is taking quite a bit of damage, down to 50 HP. He is going to go down, but a Stormbolt onto Siberia as Camel Hoarder has come up from the mid lane as well. Going to bring down that Rubik now. Bloody Noob trying to run away from everyone. Fearlock with the Edict is still doing a little bit of damage. The Split Earth is now up. He is going to get stunned right before he could land it, and Fearlock is going to get swiped down in one hit by the Lycanthrope as the Jakiro flies away just barely. We have teleportation coming in. It is the Wisp, but he cannot do anything against that. And it looks like Octavia, they're going to lose a couple of heroes. The score sitting at 5 for 2 in favor of the Radiant and the Sven. Yes, he's going for the attack speed builds, I guess, for a little bit. He does have the God Strength to really provide him that damage, but another important thing to remember is that Wisps does have Overcharge. So you could just stack Strength all day, and that Overcharge will give you, attack speed and then some. Just cleave down everyone in your path once you turn on that God Strength. That's really the idea between Wisp and the Sven, but they might get ganked up before that even happens. Siberia stole the Stormhammer, and it's going to go, well, first 1 second stun onto Busty Baboon, and a 2-man Stormhammer. Going to save that Wisp. Unfortunately, Siberia and, well, really Skeletor getting crapped on a little bit by the CK random number generator, and then the beautiful retaliation stun coming up from the Sven, hitting both of them, even though it looked like it was just on the edge. Teleportation coming in the top lane. It is that Storm Spirit, and they're going to smoke up. There are 3 in the Dire jungle, but Radiant just chilling.
Yeah, I will point out that was a really good preemptive war cry, setting up Wisp with a nice amount of movement speed that even if it was a 2-second stun, they really would have had to overextend really far to get aggression on.
Oh, Wicked is so dead.
Yeah, not much you can do for him.
Nuke damage, chain stun, and Storm Spirit with the kill. That smoke did get used very effectively. Could they dive this CK? He's only at about half health. They are going to do it. There goes the war cry. No more mana to stun. Skate Skater is going to take a 2-second stun, but the damage, I feel, is going to be enough. Pull from blue as well, as Cloudoo has transitioned up here for some reason. I don't know why, but Puck wanting to get in on the action as well. Didn't help at all on that kill, but with 4 heroes, 5 heroes on the top lane, they are going to bring down this tower. Wisp with 0 armor, 0 base armor, is tanking quite a few tower shots, but he's going to be safe, and the tower is going to go down, taken by Sven, sitting at 1,200 gold, 103. And the relocate is not yet up. Wisp only level 4, so everyone on the Dire is going to be a little bit safe for the time being, but soon they got to watch out for those relocate ganks, especially if Sven is the one that's being tethered to that Wisp.
Yeah, it's gonna, as he goes along. I mean, he's maxing tether over the spirits for the time being. That kind of gives him a little bit more stun duration. Set up the split earth that will come on through from Leshrac if they're combining that together. Actually, 3-second stun coming up on Sven, but he should be perfectly fine with Wisp supporting him there. I will point out, though, that Sven currently not going for a Soul Ring or anything along those lines, so right now his mana, he only has a couple of Stormhammers to throw out, and if he pops his ultimate along with it, that's his entire mana pool, and until Wisp picks up the Arcane Boots to give him the 2.5x mana regeneration, assuming he's missing some, until he gets that, it's going to be very hard for him to keep up his mana pool and stay aggressive.
Sherlock on the run. Everyone from the Dire, they want blood right now. But CK, if you go up that hill, man, you're going to die. There's no way out of there. Everyone from the Dire is still on top at the bottom. Freck is finally getting some time to farm. And the Radiant, they've had 5 on the top lane for quite a bit. I mean, Camel Hoarder has transitioned down to the mid lane, but no one is bot. No one is contesting this Lycan's farm. And Lycan, even though the Wolves have been nerfed with their HP, they can still tear down a tower pretty effectively. Looks like it's going to be Wicked. Once again, Skate is going to... Does he not want to stun him? He's actually going to wait, get stunned by the entire enemy team, forcing a stun on Skate Skater. Illusionor going to fly on through. Cloudoo does drop the 2-man Dream Coil. He could have gotten a 3. He was very close there. Blood Noob's going to take a Stormhammer, getting swiped down by that Sven. Now with the Reality Rift onto Busty Baboom as Skeletor is trying to do as much damage as he can. 3-second stun. Going to bring down that Wisp, it looks like, as Siberia with one more right click from that double damage Rubik. Going to bring him down, but Skeletor is going to get brought down by Cloudoo. But the Fade Bolt going to give Siberia a triple kill, just chilling in the back of that fight with a double damage. And Rubik, I mean, he only has 67 damage, but a double damage rune is a double damage rune. And now Skate Skater, he's in a little bit of a rough position, going to use that Hand of Midas, but he's still going to run into Rubik. Skate Skater without the mana for a Storm Hammer. Looks like both players willing to let each other walk away. We do see Bloody Noob thinking about something, not actually going to do it.
Yeah, so that Dream Coil from Puck actually could have done a lot more in that team fight, but he didn't catch anybody on the edge of it. It didn't break on through. He didn't really control their position, so did a decent amount as far as grouping them up together. But with rank 2 Waning Rift, it's not a long duration silence, so really the amount of positional control that Puck provides really wasn't executed perfectly well there. Along with that, the Sven was pretty low mana, couldn't even pop off his ultimate, so really did a lot of damage missing out from that team fight, and a lot of it could have been just a huge team fight for the Radiant here, compiling their advantage right now, but Rubik taking a lot of clean kills there. Not sure if he actually got the Split Earth off. I know it doesn't have any animation delay, so it would have been a nice spell to land off on somebody, but one way or another, he got the kills. The double damage rune helped out in that regard very effectively there.
Also throughout that entire fight, Brown, just on the bottom lane, he took down that tower. He also cleared out a couple of additional creep waves. So from that really bad early start, he is getting something now. He's going to pop off some wolves and look towards Skater. Siberia is going to open up with a telekinesis into a Split Earth. No, they're actually both going to get stunned. There is a Split Earth, so everyone's stunned at the moment. But Freck is going, oh, Skater got his Storm Bolt stolen. And Lycanthrope with the wolves picking up that kill.
Beautiful steal from Siberia, timing it perfectly to make sure that he gets that instead of the war cry, and with that, if he did it earlier, it would have been useless, but he did have the perfect timing and followed up on that kill very, very nicely. And like you said, although their HP of the wolves have been nerfed, their damage is still the same, and they can, especially with that medallion, execute a lot of damage.
Telekinesis. Gonna hold that Storm Spirit, and another Storm Bolt to latch onto Fearlock. Ice Path gonna catch both of them as Camel Hoarder is gonna take a ton of damage from the nuclear powered Jakiro. He's gonna try to zip out of here. He does have the medallion on him, but he's safe enough now to walk away from this Freck, taking a lot of Edict damage. He's trying to do a little bit of a dance with Fearlock. He's not gonna win that dance though. Bloody Noob very low on HP as Camel Hoarder has arrived back into the fight. Rubik gets picked down as well, and now Wicket does have that heal off, but is there enough mana on Camel Hoarder? Does he actually want to go for this? No, he's actually going to straight for Freck. The damage is there. He's going to take him down in exchange for Fearlock. Now he's getting chased by Skeletor. He does have a Reality Rift, but he doesn't really want to use it. So once again, the Radiant taking an upper hand there.
That was really everything that I complained about Cloud2 in the previous team fight. He executed perfectly there. The 2 kills on the western end, Jakiro and I believe Rubik, were set up completely perfectly by him. He only got the kill for one of them, but assisted in Storm Spirit bringing him down really, really quickly. Also, really important that Storm Spirit had enough mana to sustain his ultimate. He was dropping pretty low there, but it just he cut it pretty close. But he had the mana he needed, and he took advantage of it. And throughout that entire team fight, the longer it went, the more damage he was putting out. Even with rank 1 overloads, he just kept on sending it on through and kept the mana regenerating, but Puck really definitely set up the kills on most of that fight.
The Radiant team definitely heavy on that mobility as we see Bloody Noob going to go toe-to-toe with the Wisp. Probably just a little bit of harassment there, but yeah, Wisp with the tether could zip all around the fight. Puck, known for his mobility, that's basically what Puck relies on to keep himself alive. You know, you got the phase shift so that you don't take any damage, and then of course, Illusory Orb so you bounce around in the fight as well. And the Storm Spirit using his mobility to both survive and get kills in that fight. So Octavia, they gotta really just stick on their targets, and I feel like they do have enough stunning potential to actually do that. But they gotta just land them off, or else everyone from the Radiant just gonna zip out of there using their own personal escape spells. Like even Sven with the Warcry could run pretty quickly. For a big guy, he sure can move.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, I think the Wisp, as far as his, he's doing alright as far as assists go, 1, 2, and 6, but he's a hero that, although he's a pure support, he's definitely not item independent as most supports are. He could definitely benefit a lot from the mechanism, from the arcane boots, from higher levels. Right now, he's only sitting at level 5, not 6, so nice
smoke onto the CK in the mid lane as Camel Hoarder zips in, gonna pull him in perfect chain stun. CK unable to do anything.
Yeah, as soon as that Storm Hammer goes off, there's nothing they can do there. It's just it's such an easy setup stun, and from there, they have so much to follow it up with.
Yeah,
I debated the smoke wasn't even necessary.
Level 3 Edict is going to tear down that tower. Strack does pick up that tower kill. And they can keep going 15 seconds until the CK is up, and Edict will be up in 10. So the Edict isn't going to do all that much against this tower because it won't be there. Fortification going to slow them down just a little bit, but the Dire not looking to actually defend this as Brown is still in that bot lane, maybe looking to make a trade. Yes, there is Lycan. And he's trying to push. Someone from the Radiant's got to teleport back here. The Edict is really what the Radiant needs. Is what the Radiant needs in order to defend this. Ice Path is going to hit Skater. As you lose your, I'm going to fly in, but a 2-man Dream Coil from Cloud2 going to silence them as well. No follow-up though. They're just going to throw a little bit of nukes, and Cloud2's caught a little bit out of position in a phase shift. That stun, but the damage is too much. Puck relying on mobility, and you can't move when you're stunned. Storm Spirit is going to zip out of that very sticky situation as Octavia, they're on the run, another stun. 4 seconds, of course it's 4 seconds, onto Busty Baboon. Going to bring the Wisp down as well. How come I never get 4-second stuns? The CK just throwing out 4-second stun after 4-second stun, and Cloud2 on the bot lane has warded away the Lycanthrope, teleported back to the base, but now he does have the Vlads as well as the Medallions, so he could smoke up and look for that solo Roshan, unless it doesn't work anymore in 0.75, which I have no idea.
It should still. I mean, it's harder, but if he has Medallion, he has the Vlads, yeah, it's still capable. Level 9, I tested it out, and it does actually work out. It takes a bit longer, but you can still manage it. One big thing that Wisp made a huge mistake in the middle of that fight, he tried to pull himself and Storm Spirit down to bottom lane to just completely destroy Lycanthrope, get a couple chain stuns on him, and bring him down really quickly as he was pressuring that bottom tower, but it didn't work out for him. He actually broke the tether himself walking, and with that just went and stood next to a Lycanthrope, not able to do anything. That's why he was on the back end of that, teleported back into a terrible spot, and got dropped down by the Chaos Knight at the end of the fight. So completely wasted his only relocate he's casted this game.
It's all intimidation tactics. You just want the Lycanthrope to be scared of that relocate, and sometimes you just gotta fake him out, make him scared. And well, the Radiant have defended their tier 1 with a little bit of a push from the Dire, but they didn't really actually commit to that. Rubik has picked up the Static Remnant. It's you know, not the most spectacular spell to steal, but really there's the spectacularness of the enemy team is kind of limited. I guess a Dream Coil will be really good to steal, but Rubik, the Static Remnant, not bad actually, because it does give you a lot of vision, and it's pretty spammable as well. So you could clear off creep waves like nobody's business. And Lycanthrope, where is Lycanthrope? He's still in that bot lane, so he's not going to go for that Roshan. And I feel like the lanes are in such a position, and his team as well are positioned, so that he could take that Roshan. It's probably not going to be a solo effort. He's going to have his teammate backup, but the lanes were pushed, and he did have a chance at least to go in that Roshan pit and get something accomplished. Telekinesis onto Cloudoo. I don't think anything's going to happen. Illusory Orb does fly out, but completely whiffs, and now the person in danger is going to be Freck. He does have that wolf form. Will the chain stun be good enough? Busty Baboon going to latch himself to that Sven.
Relocate up
They're
top.
thinking about going. They're going to go to the top lane, whereas Camel Horde is going to try to go for Skeletor. Stormhammer going to hit as well. There goes the CK. Illusion Rune was also there from the Storm Spirit, just joining into the fight. But now with 3 on the top lane, Busty Baboon should probably break this tether. He is going to break this tether. Oh, but he goes right into a pile of wolves, where Freck is waiting. Illusory Orb from the Rubik going to latch as well. He does pick up that kill on the Wisp. In the meantime, the top lane, Camel Hoarder and Skate Skater, who got a free taxi ride up to that top lane. They're going to start working on the first tier 2 actually of the game. But the Dire, maybe they want to make a trade. The tier 2 tower on the bottom lane from the Radiant is previously weakened by that Lycanthrope. And while it probably is going to be a trade, Skate Skater without a teleportation scroll, Camel Hoarder does have a teleportation scroll, but the tower I think is low enough so that the trade can be fairly even. Orange with the drawing wants them to go for the tier 3, but telekinesis onto Cloudoo, getting pulled back into his... No, it's actually going to be just fine. Enchant does slow him down, but the Dire team have got what they wanted. Now are they going to go for Roshan? The Ward is going to see if they do go into that Roshan pit.
Yeah, it's really hard to trade up against the Sven. He just does so much tower damage so quickly, and even though, although they were able to take down the tier 2 tower on bottom, that one was already extremely weakened. Sven was able to, with an arm lane, God's Strength, to eat through that tower's HP like nobody's business and just bring it down extremely quickly, no problem at all. I mean, he didn't even need Storm Spirit to assist him on that. Speaking of Storm Spirit,
he's going to go toe-to-toe with Siberia. He does have a haste rune. Camel Hoarder, do you have enough mana for this? Yes, you do. Solo kill from Storm Spirit because he picked up an Orchid. Storm Spirit, Orchid, I mean, it's always a good item on Storm Spirit. It's never really a bad item. But usually you get a little bit more mileage because everyone from Octavian don't really have that many disables. They don't necessarily have an Anti-Mage to blink out or Queen of Pain blink or Morphling Waveform that you could cancel off. But still, the Storm Spirit is very dangerous with that Orchid. He could do so much with that. And Freck has picked up a Smoke. A Smoke is on the Courier. There you go. He's going to go for that Roshan now.
Yeah, and I'd say the Orchid's more for the 30% damage amplification than for the silence in general. I mean, it does so much. I mean, if he just gets a quick gank off, burns through him, a couple remnants on him, and if they're living with 25% health remaining, then that'll finish the job. Speaking of which, long-range initiation gone into Wicket, and Wisp on the job with the tether, make sure he finishes it. But yeah, just quick and easy kills.
Freck is going to take a Dream Coil. He's going to go down as well. So both Wicked as well as the Lycanthrope getting picked off by the Radiant. They knew that entire time, and they were just waiting for it.
Yeah, I mean, they smoked. That was the first smoke that he's actually bothered to pop, but they just kind of knew the timing of it. That I mean, it's kind of interesting. They haven't checked it up until this point, but the second that he jumped in on it, they definitely were aware of what was going to go on. So I don't know. He just
watching the stream.
I mean, I have a 1 minute delay. I'm not sure exactly the timing of what it was, but they just were in the right place at the right time. If you look in the Radiant warding, they just warded the Dire Ancients here, and with that, I think they were just in the right position and knew exactly what was going on. I think they actually might have seen him.
Skeletor.
Didn't see that.
Demolished by Camel Hoarder. There you go, Cloudoo explaining what's going on there. Sorry, and you were saying?
Well, yeah. I mean, the fact of the matter is, I believe the Radiant Ward by the Ancients, if the smoke wasn't popped early enough, that they would have actually seen the Roshan. And now, the combination together, Wisp and Sven, easy enough to take down the Roshan, as long as he doesn't get bashed too much. No problem at all. And with that, if you're Chaos Knight, you know, the ganking semi-carry is getting destroyed, so 1v1 versus a Storm Spirit, you know you have problems in your current setup right now. GPM is 420 for the Storm compared to just 271 from the Chaos Knight, only getting 63 CS. A lot of times you've then seen this Chaos Knight not getting as much creep score as he really needs to really get the big items and survive in these engagements here. So right now he is a lot lower on level. Storm Spirit's in level 15, up against level 11s, top dog in this house, and really just showing what he's worth in that sense.
He's not having the greatest time. I do think the CK, this Chaos Bolt, hitting him a little bit hard there because the Storm Spirit has a lot of flexibility to around
nice
there.
Dream Coil.
Dream Coil going to land onto Freck. but Cloud is way out of position. Here comes Camel Horde to try to give himself a little bit of backup. The CK Bolt has not flown yet. Cloud is now at half health, and Fearlock is getting worked down by Freck, instantly torn down. TP from Storm Spirit is going to mean he's going to get out safely with the Reality Rift onto the puck. He's going to phase shift out. But the Storm Spirit, no, that was actually Siberia stole the Ball Lightning, and Busty Baboon is going to get worked down as well. The Dire taking a very good sweep of kills right there.
That Ball Lightning is such a good steal. He has the mana to sustain it. I mean, he has plenty of intellect right now, the Arcane Boots, and if he can just get one long-range initiation to set up their team, that's what they really lack. Radiant has the range. They have Sven Wisp. Anywhere on the map is no longer safe, and with Storm Spirit almost hitting rank 3 Ball Lightning with plenty of mana to spare, he has such range. But, I mean, Rubik, all he's got is his telekinesis range, same with the Reality Rift from the Chaos Knight. Beyond that, they can't touch anything. They don't really have that long range of threat. So with the new Ball Lightning, as long as he has it, actually just goofing around with it a little bit, but with the Force Staff and the Ball Lightning, they have an extreme amount of range, and they're about to use it.
Range, he's going to go straight for Fearlock. Fearlock had that medallion on him, and he just burned pretty much all of his mana to get close enough for one right click. Just tapped him, and he died. Now
Camel 3 second stun.
Getting stunned up. 3 second stun on him. He does have a lot of mana, so he's going to get out of here. There's a Skater going to try to support. There's the Stormhammer, not going to catch 2 this time, but he does get the support from the Wisp. He's going to try to work down the CK, who's, as you said, not having the best time. 3 second stun onto Busty Baboon, going to hold him out. Telekinesis stun chain as well. There's the Phantasm. Skeletor just using that to run away. BKB has been popped from Sven, and then in 1 second he's going to have that hammer, going to hit onto Skeletor, and there goes. Oh, it's not enough to kill. 14 HP, but the earn charge from the Wisp does pick up that kill. Busty Baboon is going to get torn up by Freck, who has arrived into this fight. Skater trying to make something happen. He does have the Aegis, so he's not going to die anytime soon. In fact, he's just holding his ground. There goes the Aegis.
He can ultimate here and do so much damage. It's going to be so devastating right here.
Cloud is going to go for Freck, who's very weak. Stormhammer onto Siberia. And there's the God Strength. 1 hit, 2 hits. Not going to be enough. The Ice Path does save him, but Camel Hoarder is there with the Ball Lightning. He does pick up that Rubik. And it looks like that might be it for now. But Sven using that Aegis in exchange for 1 kill. I mean, he took a lot of damage before he went down with that armlet. Doing a little bit of surfing action there. And that is going to translate into a tier 2 tower for the Radiant side.
Yeah, I don't think the Pyroclasm could counter push up against this boss of a Sven right now. Just so much damage. So it's kind of incredible. Once he pops that off, his ultimate is just he can do whatever he wants really. He didn't have the BKB available outside the Aegis, so that's why the Jakiro Ice Path was so clutch, slowing him down. But just having the Storm Spirit, just the follow up, you can chase as long as you need to, as long as you have the mana to spare. He looks like he's going to be opting for a Bloodstone in the near future. That's going to give him plenty of base mana as well as regeneration. And as that stacks up, he's going to be more and more dangerous as that goes along. And yeah, the Roshan control really hasn't been in favor of the Dire. That's what they've needed all game. And with that, just the Storm Spirit and Sven have been taking this game in stride, maxing out the GPM and really doing whatever they need to. Actually going on
Lycanthrope is taking a ton
double
of
damage.
From the Storm Spirit, going to burn all his mana there. Lycanthrope is going to get ticked by this Orchid, 70 HP. And Camel Hoarder is going to take a 2 second stun as well as a Levitate. He's going to get dropped down and he's going to try to teleport out of this. Reality Rift, not enough to cancel that, and oh, just barely the Storm Spirit makes it out alive. And yeah, Storm Spirit did reveal that he had a ward there. The very aggressive Radiant warding has been kind of revealed, but I mean, I guess it's kind of all for naught as we have a relocate from the Wisp. Where did he? No, that was actually return relocate, so never mind about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he tried to pull the Storm Spirit out of that spot, but he TP'd out anyways, and so it wasn't a big deal one way or another. But yeah, the aggressive warding is really good from the Radiant. They have full vision. They even know what's about to happen right here in this exchange. Skeletor about to get stunned up, possibly going for Wicked instead. Storm Spirit
stun. No, it's only going to be Wicked, and God Strength gets popped. The Ice Path, though, is there.
Oh, beautiful.
The move speed with the tether combined with Sven. Oh god, Bloody Noob's going to take a Dream Coil, and 1 swipe, 2 swipes, Sven picking up yet another kill. The Radiant just all over the Dire jungle, and the Dire, I mean, they have no idea. They just walked face first into a very angry hero. Another minute until that God Strength is up again, but now next time it is going to be up. It is going to be that level 3 God Strength. There goes the Warcry, and the Radiant team going to look towards a tier 3 tower. The Dire without the Jakiro for that AoE damage, without the Rubik for the Fade Bolt to harass them back. Their T3 tower is going to take a lot of damage. Fearlock does have a level 4 Edict, which kind of got burned mostly on that fortification. But Skater still on the front line, looking for a Stormhammer. He's going to land it onto Wicked. No follow-up there. No, there's plenty of follow-up as Camel Hoarder just demolishes that Enchantress. Does take a 3 second stun within the tower. He's going to go down as well. Skater pops off that BKB. No God Strength again. He's going to try to bring down Skeletor. The cleave damage, also doing a little bit of damage to Freck, who is chain stunned down. He's going to run away. The Stormhammer not going to fly as he gets telekinesis up into the air. Choosing against stun as well as the Ice Path. The Skate Skater is going to go down. Leshrac has picked up that CK, but he is now on the run. Siberia, he doesn't have a telekinesis yet, and the Ice Path is going to be up, but it looks like it doesn't matter. Triple kill being picked up by Siberia. The Radiant team overextend just a little bit too much, going through the Tier 3 tower, going into the Tier 4 tower. And, I mean, they're ahead, but the Tier 4 towers, they do a little bit of damage, so you should probably watch out for that.
Yeah, that Siberia came back into the fight at the perfect timing. If you didn't see, before the Sven skirmish up on the top, it was actually Storm Spirit bringing down Siberia 100-0 with a really good Ball Lightning Orchid initiation, just bring him down. Their former lane mates and completely outclassed, and he was able to bring him down. But with the respawn coming back into it, even without picking up the hammer, he just was able to clean up very nicely. Actually, a relocate coming in back up by himself. Wisp, I don't know what he thinks he's doing.
That intimidation tactic, man. It's
Busted
true.
Baboon. 1v5 anywhere on the map. Let's go.
Now they're scared. I mean, now of course they do have a timer for that relocate, but I do think the Radiant made a little bit of a tactical mistake diving that far. I mean, they were fighting near the top lane, and somehow that's where they ended up from a mid lane push. The Tier 3 tower does stand still, and it could get denied, but I don't think the Dire are going to be interested in that. But they, oh wait, Wicked is going to be interested in that. So there's the tower deny in a couple of seconds. But still, the Radiant, they went way too aggressive. They could have taken down that tower and then would have had that little boost of gold from an actual tower kill instead of a tower deny, and possibly get the racks. It would have been iffy, but still, diving into the Tier 4 towers, that's a little bit of a tactical mistake in my opinion.
Actually, a big regeneration room for Storm Spirit, and don't underestimate that. With the Ring 3 Ball Lightning, he can just pretty much zip on through and do whatever he wants, can be completely immune for an entire team fight, if that's how it works out for him.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And Storm Spirit, I mean, Octavia, what could they have that could actually hit him through that with, like, as far as constant damage over time? I guess Jakiro is the best bet there. But really, if the Storm Spirit does have a regeneration rune, there's a lot of targeted spells for Octavia, so they can't really lock him down effectively without him dodging it, especially since he's going to have literally infinite mana to just do whatever he wants within that team fight. But looks like the team fight isn't going to happen quite yet, as we have a group up, all 5 on the Dire, from the Dire, going to the Tier 2 tower on the Radiant. I feel like they could go for the top lane instead, a little bit safer, a little bit more guaranteed gold, and it is also very low, so that kind of helps as well. But the Dire, they know what the Roshan timer is, so they're going to want to just push out all the lanes. It's going to be difficult, though, because Camel Horde is still in the spot lane, pushing that out, doing a little bit more damage to that Tier 2 tower. But he might be in a little bit of trouble, as we now see 3 moving down there. Oh, they're going to go Roshan, not up yet.
Yeah, 2 minutes on that.
Yeah, they have a little bit of a timer error there. Camel Hoarder is the target, though. Ping back from Cloudu, though, and, oh,
really nice
initiation from Siberia with the Blink Dagger. Camel Hoarder just chilling, making a whole fort of static remnants. Gonna spot out completely everyone. So the gig is up, Dire. You guys are not gonna gank the Storm Spirit, but the Storm Spirit might be the one ganking you. Sven is in the mid lane though, and I feel like they might need the Sven to do this, but they're looking like they want to try it anyway. It is gonna be a 4v4. The Lycanthrope is on that top lane. Illusion Orb gonna fly on through. There goes Cloudu, gonna land a 2-man Dream Coil onto Blood and Human Skeletor. It did get stolen though by Siberia. Is getting worked on by Camel Hoarder. 4-second stun there. He's gonna take a ton of damage. The mech is not gonna be enough to heal him. Actually, that was Magic Stick from Busty Baboon, but Skeletor is still in the middle of the fight. He's going to take a ton of damage. He's actually dodging all of those Wisp Spirits, but he's going to go down regardless. The Skate Skater has now arrived into the fight, and everyone from the Dire has retreated, but this tower is not long for life, and I feel like oh no, huge zip in from Camel Hoarder, instantly eviscerating that Twin-Headed Dragon, then going to go for the Enchantress, and now this tower is going to go down. They keep going, but the teleportation is going to go onto the top lane, where the Lycanthrope has been chilling this entire time. It's going to be Cloudu clearing out that creep wave with that orb. But now Blue, he wants to go for the Raxes on the mid lane. Busty Baboon going to bring Skate Skater right in for those Raxes, and there's nothing that the Dire can do about this.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, not only the range of initiation, but also the vision is all in favor of the Radiant here. Not like the Remnant, you saw that clear vision doing work down on the bottom lane when there was fog juking done by Storm Spirit, along with that Wisp, and his spirits can see across the map. And really, once you know the engagement that you want to go in and you have that vision with or without wards, which, mind you, the Dire have absolutely no wards up right now. It's all controlled currently by the Radiant, specifically around Roshan, as that's the key objective here. But just completely covering everything up. Now they have the lanes pushed in, and it's really, the position of Dire gets more and more dire, if you will. It's going to be more difficult for them to come back from it. Not just in farm. I mean, yeah, the gold grab definitely shows they have a huge advantage going up over 13,000, but really it's much more so about the potential to initiate team fights on their terms. The Storm Spirit, the Wisp Sven, they have that potential. The Dire does not, so they're kind of subjected to the Lycanthrope backdooring as best he can, and you can only backdoor so much when you have such Rape Train coming through with all these very, very aggressive, high damage dealing semi-carries here. Or dare I say semi-carry.
Yeah.
I used to call Sven semi-carry all the time, but with this God's Strength buff, I would really say that he's just a straight-up carry. He scales extremely well, has that Daedalus, and so much damage once he pops that ultimate off.
The overcharge is only level 2, so Sven is going to get a lot more dangerous before he stops being as dangerous. That doesn't make any sense, but the overcharge will give Sven a lot of momentum moving forward into this game. Looks like Orange Cloudoo drawing the attack pattern that he wants his team to take straight up the bottom lane. There are 4 there for the Radiant. Blue is a mile away, so he can't really be of that much help for this upcoming push, but at this point in time, with the BKB on Sven, with the Daedalus on Sven, and now with the Helm of the Dominator, will it really matter if they don't have the Storm Spirit? Although Storm Spirit is making his way there, so the Radiant not going to jump the gun. They're going to wait until they're in full force, and then they're just going to slowly push down that bottom lane, and they have all the time in the world. They brought down the mid lane Raxes, so they could just camp right outside, and then wait as wave upon wave of creeps are going to crash into the Dire base from that mid lane.
Relocate going on through, but just to kind of defend, I'm just giving Sven as much farm as possible. Playing the taxi service, he's really at his level right now, level 12, in a 33-minute game. Wisp would be doing a lot better, especially considering his team's advantage, but he's doing what he can. He has the Arcane Boots helping out. The mech will be a lot more promising in the near future, but whatever. It's really the carries that their level matters. 2 level 19s on the Radiant team, and actually really like the pickup from Puck that Vladimir's offering a beautiful support item. A lot of people pick it up on carries unnecessarily, but I mean, almost all of the benefits are from aura. So you give him the lifesteal, you give him the base damage increase, and it just helps out so much, especially with the armor aura, to keep everybody alive and keep everybody trucking. So along those lines, Puck, he has his Blink Dagger and his Yules. He has plenty of core to stay mobile, stay versatile, jump in and out, but that aura gives him some real presence in the fight beyond just his basic skill cooldowns.
Yeah, Wisp is trolling. He just relocated and left the Sven there, so yeah, Busty Baboon might be thinking of going onto the Dire side, but that probably wouldn't be the best bet, as we now have 5 on the Radiant onto the bot lane, pushing down the Dire's bot lane, and I don't know if the Dire could actually defend this, because they're gonna have to deal with the mid lane, which is gonna constantly push in from those racks, and Skate Skater could annihilate a creep wave in like 2 hits, combined with the nuking power from the Puck, from the now maxed out Lightning on the Leshrac. So they're just going to camp out here. They don't have to do anything until they want to. They're just going to wait for an opportunity for the Dire to get a little bit overextended. Or, okay, maybe they're just going to go straight into Freck. Actually, they're going to split their attention between Freck and the Rubik. Rubik's taking a ton of damage. Silence. He's probably going to get ticked down from this. Yes, he is. Skeletor is on the run, as Fearlock is on the front lines with the Edict, with the Pulse Nova, doing a ton of damage there. Skeletor seems to not be scared, but he's going to take a split Earth. Cloudoo lifting up the Jakiro into the air, and he's going to dodge out the CK Bolt. No, the CK Bolt does land. 4 seconds stun. Cloudoo's probably going to go down from this one. Skate Skater walking right into that Ice Path, but he has he has everything he needs, and there's nothing left for the Dire team to actually control this Sven. 4 seconds stun is going onto these heroes that really are not the problem, although, when they're right in the fountain, that's not a good situation, but all the stuns going onto the heroes that aren't necessarily going to deal the damage. Sven got completely ignored as he was just chilling on those Raxes. Everyone from the Dire do eventually fall.
Yeah, I mean, they put so much effort into killing the Puck. I mean, I would call this Puck nigh unkillable, even with only his rank 1 phase shift. But he has the Blink Dagger, he has the Yule Scepter, and he can jump in and out all the time, but with everything on cooldown, he didn't really have that option. But one way or another, it doesn't matter. The team was able to clean up completely. They put so much into killing the Puck, and that's not even a relevant kill once the Dream Coil's on cooldown. So Plykin trying to do what he can, but, Basher, he can pop the Aegis, but that's all he's going to be able to manage. And it's just been momentum and momentum. The initiation has been in the hands of Radiant. Everything I've been saying, holy crap, look at that cleave. Wow.
Cleave damage. 4 hits in the fountain, 2 heroes at the same time, and now the God Strength. Oh my god, 1700 crit. Are you kidding me? This Sven, man. This Sven.
That is manly if anything ever was. That's for sure.
I agree. I don't think that anything could get more. I mean, he's even going to die to the fountain in Jakiro. He does have that lifesteal, but he's taking a lot of damage from the fountain. Lifesteal,
so close.
So close.
One hit would have brought him up quite a bit if he had crit him up, but no big deal. Bloody Noob wins the game. So 1v1 versus Fem. But anyways, that was a very good game, and I definitely enjoyed casting with you. It was very, very active and very, very fun. So I mean, it was a 36-minute game, but it felt like it went on for 50 minutes. Just how much was going on in that all over the map. But yeah, definitely, this was Mikelorus. Guys, I'm Blaze Casting, that was Mikelorus, and thanks for tuning in thus far. If you guys have any feedback or commentary about how Mikelorus did in his play-by-play commentary and stuff like that, I mean, we can mix it up and stuff like that back and forth as we do more, but we'll see what's going on and move on to one more caster at the very least, if not a couple more games. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll go to one song real quick. I'll read a little bit of the chat because there was plenty of commentary there, but we'll move on, and thanks for tuning in, guys, and thanks for casting with me, Mike.
All right, it was my pleasure. My pleasure. Good game, and the intimidation tactics really won them that game.
Absolutely, Wisp MVP with
Wisp,
his mad
strong.
relocates.
All right, GG guys.